Wednesday. It's going to be Wonderful Wednesday because it's going to be a day of encouragement, a day to encourage you. Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 more days of early voting. And so if you have not voted, I will come and get you and take you if you need a ride. If you have not voted because you're thinking, oh, my leg hurts a little bit and I can't get off the couch, come on, guys. Get to the polls and vote. In a few minutes, I'm going to read you something that's going to encourage you and inspire you to do better. If you sat out the last election, you can't sit this one out. You absolutely can't. So we're going to try to encourage you to get out and vote, and to vote as Pastor Travis Bridgman said. And I want to remind y'all, speaking of Pastor Travis Bridgman, you can actually watch him at Antioch Baptist Church live streaming on Facebook. So if you're sitting at home and you're thinking, I don't feel like getting out and going to church, I don't have a local church, get out and hit that button. How hard is that? And watch some live streaming. So many churches live stream, and if you're not able to get out, and a lot of folks aren't, then do that. Well, let me tell you about folks who got out this morning. I had this idea. I needed to be here early because we had a lot of stuff to prepare. So I got here early. Do you know what I found out about getting here early? Y'all are crazy before dark on the highway. I have never seen so much speeding and craziness and weaving in and out. All you got to do is leave home 5 minutes early and you can get to work on time. It was wild today. And I was going, I'm not going to say the speed I was going, I'll just say I was a little bit over the speed limit, and everybody around me was like they were flying, and I just pulled over in that slow lane, and I said, well, I'll just take my time and I'll get there when I get there. What in the world happens? It was not even daylight, and everybody was driving like crazy people. Y'all just need to get out of the bed early. Don't sit there and drink your second cup of coffee and take your time. Get out and get on the road. I ain't never. If the Georgia State Patrol had been sitting there today, that poor man would have run out of ink in just a few minutes because it was a wild morning. Today's Wednesday. Wednesday's usually a quiet day up here in these hills. It was not quiet on the road today, so y'all be careful. Be careful. Now, the other day, I didn't show you all the pictures from ball ground, and we're going to do that today because today we're going to talk about trick or treating. Do you want to be tricked or you want to be treated? Well, you got treated in ball ground, and see that necklace that I have on? I have it on today. That is the theme for today's program. That is Saving America. First Lieutenant Noah Harris gave his life because he believed in our country. And I have on my dog tag today, and it very clearly says killed in action 6/18/2005. He is our local Gilmer County boy. You knew him, you loved him, you were part of his life. Noah Harris is the reason that I will be, I am, I always have been a conservative Christian voter. And we're going to talk about that in a bit. But when we think about Noah, we think about it could be your son, it could be anybody's son. Look at that. 22,000 people showed up, and that many more people were standing outside. We truly care about our country, and we have the ability, we, us, me, you, your friends, your neighbors, your children, we have the ability to save our country. We can be tricked or we can be treated, and I'm ready for a treat because the tricks of the last 4 years have just about done me in. So, and I think about it a lot. That is my favorite photo I've seen all season of all of the events. That shows you who is voting, that shows you who cares, and that encouraged me so much to see that our young people are out and they are trying to make America great again. And that's what we have the ability to do. We can get together and we can do it. Or we can just be tricked and we can let it fall apart the rest of the way because it's falling apart a good bit. So, but I loved just seeing all the faces because it was every nationality, it was every imaginable, it was every kind of, it was everybody was together. It was just crazy, and it was the happiest group of people. They sat there a long time in their seats waiting for the event to begin, and it was just awesome. It was so awesome. So just a piece of American history. And you know, everything that we're seeing unfolding in front of us is American history. Now this, trick or treat, this is when we were treating y'all, and we were treating lots and lots of kids to lots and lots of candy and ball ground. And I want to remind you, we're going to have another day of giving out candy on Halloween downtown ball ground. So come bring your children downtown. The merchants, and there's Sweet Evelyn who put together this event, and she worked hard to do it. We are going to be downtown. Our offices, many of the businesses downtown are going to be handing out candy again. So bring your kids to downtown ball ground. There's something about that sweet little city. This was done at the Botanical Garden, and y'all have to remember there are all kinds of props down there where you can go and take fall pictures, and it's really cute. The garden is definitely decorated for family fun. So go down there and take your children. If you go trick-or-treating, if you get them dressed up a little bit early, run by the garden and take some pictures and use the props, and you'll have some really good fall pictures of your kids and some great memories. So, but we had a really good time on Saturday, and again, we will be trick-or-treating again in downtown, and that's the Downtown Merchants. And we have an office downtown, so come by and see us, and we'll be there. We'll be handing out candy. And we might have a drawing of some kind. We're kind of known for that. We'll do something special for you. So get out and come to see us. You know, Ball Ground is that tiny city that's been there a long time, and it's growing. And folks think I'm just crazy because I don't want a grocery store. A lot of people say, well, you have to drive to Canton. Okay, it's 7.5, 8 miles to Canton. It's 7 miles to Freeholm. Okay, that's not hard. It's only 8.5 miles to Jasper. Okay, none of that's hard. I love that we have homes coming in, but we don't have a bunch of commercial stuff. We don't need a bunch of commercial stuff. We've got quaint, sweet businesses all up and down the main drag. There are restaurants, there are places to shop. You can stop and visit, you can hang out with people, and you can walk down to the park. There's so much to do walking distance from downtown Ball Ground. Tons of stuff to do. So don't think that we need to pile up a bunch of big old, those chain stores and commercial stuff. No. I don't think Ball Ground needs that. I think Ball Ground's doing really good. We've got Wilkes Market, and we've got the Dollar General store. What more do you need out of life? And we've got a pharmacy. So, you know, we've got what we need, and we've got an amazing coffee shop. Our coffee shop is on top of it. And the coffee shop is one of those locally owned and operated, and that's what's important. Now, I'm going to share something with you. I'm going to read you some statistics, and I want, Trace, if you can put up that picture of the guys at the event, because I just want to share. This is the statistics, and I want you to be proud of yourselves. Pickens, Dawson, Gilmer, Fannin, Cherokee, Forsyth. The region is still #1 in the state and the nation. Pickens is still crushing it. The region has largest early vote turnout. As of 10/29, the largest Republican early voting in Georgia history, 3 million. That is amazing. I am so very proud of everybody who got out and early voted. But again, you have through Friday, you have today, tomorrow, and Friday to early vote. So if you have not voted, and I talked to a lot of people who said, well, I just, you know, I voted and my guy didn't win and I just decided I'm not voting again. Don't take that attitude. Take that attitude that we can make a difference, and we can be, my vote might be the one that makes a difference. Your vote might be. You might ask your son-in-law, hey, son-in-law, why don't you get out and go vote? You could be that winning difference. Now this is the difference. Halloween has not even come and gone, but look at what I found for Victoria. She is so excited. This child lives in Alaska, and in Alaska they don't have Little Debbie's. And I told her, I said, I have rounded me up a bunch of Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes. She is so very excited, and she'll be down here before long because she's leaving Alaska and she's moving to the lower 48. We're really excited. She's going to be going to work for Fox number 19 in Cincinnati, Ohio, which happens to be where my vice presidential candidate lives. So it's so exciting, and I might even take a day or two off and go up there just so I can see my vice president. Vote early, vote for the USA, Vote, vote, vote. Y'all get out and vote. We can make a difference. We can turn it around. Do you want to be tricked or do you want to be treated? We have been tricked for 4 years. Nothing got better. Everything got worse. From the horrible things happening because we let so many illegal murderers, gangs, we let them all in. That is a mess. That's a disaster. It's got to be cleaned up. We lost so many jobs. We've got to get those jobs back. We have got to take control of our country, and you have the ability to do it. You're sitting out there thinking now, well, my vote doesn't count. Absolutely your vote counts. So please get out and vote the way I vote. You see this? This is First Lieutenant Noah Harris. First Lieutenant Noah Harris is why I will always vote conservative. I will vote for America, and I will vote to save our country. And if you knew Miss Lucy and Rick, and you knew that they lost their only son, he gave his life because he loved our country. He didn't do this just as a fluke. He gave his life because he loved his country. When he saw what the terrorists did on 9/11, he chose to enter the military. He left a great opportunity of life for himself, and he chose to enter the military. That was a choice he made. He chose to protect America. He chose to protect our soil because we had been attacked. We don't have to be attacked now. They don't have to come in planes. They've opened the border and let over 20 million come in illegally, and many of those are criminals. Many of those are doing horrific things. And today we're going to share something with you, and it's the story of a mom. You know, I've thought a lot about this. When Melania Trump got a call that her husband had been shot, I got a call that was nothing like that, but my husband had been in a horrific fire and he was burned really, really badly. And the nurse said, you need to get here as quickly as you can. I'll never forget those words. And I thought about being a young widow, and I thought about what life was like, and I thought about the call that Mrs. Trump got, that your husband is okay, but he has been shot. Those are not things that wives want to hear. And I'm going to play a little bit of an interview that she did, and it talks about a book she's written, and I can't wait to read this book. I'm buying it for my close friends for gifts because I think that we all need to look at her story, her life. She came here a legal immigrant, and she speaks 5 languages. She is absolutely brilliant, and she was our first lady. And you talk about, I love Jackie Kennedy, but I love Melania Trump better. She is amazing, and she is one brainstorming, brilliant woman. So when I think about how she was treated, she wasn't given the respect that we often give women who I don't think deserve it. And I think this time around, if we can get them back in the White House, I think that America will be back to being a respectful country. I really am hopeful that we together, you and I, our votes can save our country. So I want to encourage you to get out and vote early, early, early. Now we're going to take you to an interview that Melania Trump did, and it really encouraged me to sit down and to read the book and to listen and to learn, because we don't know everything she went through as the first reign in the White House when they were there and he was learning. You know, he's a businessman. He's not a politician. He's a businessman, and he's brought together a team of businessmen that blow my mind. When you think about Elon Musk, who can do any and everything, this man is like a genius, over the top genius. And then RFK, who cares so much about health and our children and all the chemicals that we put in our children's bodies. Then we wonder why we have the largest problems with every kind of child disease you can think of. And so the idea that these great men are coming together, all 3 of them were Democrats, and now they're conservative Republicans, and they're joining forces with so many other people. Tulsi Gabbard, which I absolutely love, and I think she is just amazing. She's joined the party. There are so many people who want to make a difference because they're not willing to give up on our country, and I'm not either. So we're going to share a few little interviews that I think maybe we should pay attention to what we hear, and maybe we should listen to the truth, and maybe we should vote to be treated and not tricked. So here we go.
And we have a very special guest here, the former First Lady of the United States. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
She also has the #1 book in the country.
The #1 book. Here it is. We've all read it, and I have mine all earmarked and lots of notes. It is fabulous. I'm so proud of you. Lots of wonderful pictures, too. Stories about being First Lady, your upbringing. It's just great. You have to pick it up. Everyone should read this book. So thank you for coming on to talk about it. Congratulations. 1 week away. How are you feeling? How's the family?
I feel good. We are feeling good. We are working hard. My husband, he's all over the country, traveling. And as we saw Sunday evening, Sunday through the day was an amazing day and a lot of support out there.
Yeah. You've been through the campaign cycle now 3 times, 2016, 2020, 2024. How is this different? Or how is it better? How is it different? How does it compare?
I feel it's kind of the same like 2016. The support out there, it's incredible. And it's just, people see what's going on in the country and what kind of leadership they want. They want prosperity, they want American dream coming back. So that's what we will decide on November 5th.
It's got that feeling.
Yeah.
Mrs. Trump, you made it very clear when your husband decided to run for president, you were going to be a mother, you were going to take care of Barron, and you were going to work on the projects in the White House, but that mattered to you. But you took the stage on Sunday. You surprised the former president, you surprised the entire audience. Why now are we seeing you more on the campaign trail in the final stretch?
Well, it was an incredible place. I love New York City, and I think that people to hear from me on that day, the arena, Madison Square Garden, the support that we have, and I want to support my husband as well. So I was there for him and everybody else.
Are you? I know you're like the former president, doesn't want to count anything before it's done. But if the polls are correct and you continue the momentum and you win, are you anxious to be First Lady again? Do you want to be First Lady again?
I'm not anxious because this time is different. I have much more experience, much more knowledge. I was in the White House before. So when you go in, you know exactly what to expect. You know what kind of people you need to get. You need to have people that they are on your team, that they have the same vision as me, and to serve me because they serve the country.
But the thing is, Melania, in your book, you talk about people that really stabbed you in the back, right? Yeah. And let you down.
Yes.
And how did that feel to put that in print and finally get your voice to this story?
Well, it's important that people hear my story because it's a lot of misinformation and a lot of mistruths out there. So that's why I wrote the book. And, I wish the best all these people that they go on the back and they need to heal, actually. They need to heal. I wish them all the best. They should be there for the right reasons and not why they were there for.
That's big of you, because a lot of people would be angry.
Yeah, it's betrayal. It's betrayal, but they show the world who they are. They need to go to sleep every night, and they know what they did, to tape First Lady of the United States on the phone calls and release them to the public and edit those phone calls. It's disgrace, and should never happen to anybody.
That has to be the hardest part because you
never
trust...
happened in the history to somebody that would do that.
Mrs. Trump, do you feel that there's unfinished business at the White House? Even for you, I know the former president talks about his agenda. He wants to bring inflation and wants to secure the border. But you had projects as well. Do you feel like you got to accomplish everything you wanted in the White House?
We did a lot, but it's still, it never ends. It's so much to do and to take care of the staff and also the country and our next generation, our children. I accomplished a lot with Be Best and brought Be Best internationally as well. But so much to do. And so many new issues will come in 25, we never know what will come.
Yeah.
And children are suffering. We need to help them and educate them.
Mrs. Trump, you said that this campaign cycle feels like 2016 in the excitement and enthusiasm and things like that, I would imagine. But something is different, and that is two different people tried to kill your husband. And you saw it live on television. This is all different.
It is different. It's much more dangerous, and I'm very vigilant and very selective where I go, what do I do, because, you know, you never know. It's one person, and it's dangerous out there.
What do you think about the rhetoric that's out there today? They're still calling your husband a second Hitler. How does that make you feel? Because you know him better than anyone.
Correct. It's terrible. He's not Hitler, and all of his supporters, they're standing behind him because they want to see country successful. And we see what kind of support he has.
Yeah. Right.
Why do you think he does this? He doesn't have to do it. You know, we hear Eric Trump all the time say, my dad could be on a beach, my dad could retire. He has these buildings and businesses. Why do y'all do this? Why'd you choose to do it again?
He loves his country, and he wants to make it successful and for all of the people.
Yeah.
You know, he loves people, and he wants to make this country great again.
Was the hardest part the court cases? Was that one of the hardest things, seeing the indictments and the court cases, especially here in New York City?
Look, it's part of it. It's part of the politics. When we came to the White House the first time when he was elected, I knew it would not be easy, and I knew they would go after him, and they did. Yeah. So I always said, like, what is next?
Right. Given the fact that there have been 2 assassination attempts, when he is at the door, he's about to go to work, do you say something different to him as you send him out the door?
I always said to him, you know, good luck and be safe. You know, you never know what kind of phone call you will receive and what can happen in life, right? Life is fragile, and we need to enjoy it every day.
Do you feel like God has a purpose now for him? Because this has been 2 attempts, and he's been spared.
Correct.
Right.
Thank
Hey,
God.
Mrs. Trump,
Are you okay with audience questions?
Some audience
Yes, of
questions.
course,
Let's go to
yes.
Craig first.
Yes.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Craig.
Where are you going to spend election night with your family? Hopefully a celebration.
Wait, is this an invitation to your house?
Absolutely.
We will be in Palm Beach, and in the morning we will go to vote. Me and my husband will go to vote, and then it will be, you know, a waiting time, a period of waiting, and we will see. And then I hope it's a success, and a party in the evening.
Do you think that we'll know on Tuesday night?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope that we know. I hope that the election will be fair, and everything will be, you know, selected, as we say, on Tuesday night.
All right, Joanne, where are you, Joanne? Where do we find you? There you go.
Mrs. Trump, it's a real honor to have you here. I want to tell you thank you. I appreciated your beautiful words and descriptions of New York City during the rally. And my question to you is, how did you present or drop your little pro-choice bombshell on the president in the middle of his career fight for his career? How did you present it to him, and what was his response to you?
Well, my husband knew my position, my belief, since the day we met. So it was not a big surprise for him, right? I guess other people, the world didn't know where my stands are. But he was not surprised at all. He knew about it.
All right,
She
Barbara.
writes about it in detail in her book. If you
I
wanna-
do.
Yeah.
In the book, it's like a whole chapter about it. So I really explain what I really believe, what really means my body, my choice. It's not one way only, right? So if somebody's interested, they should read it.
All right, Barbara's got a question right over there. Hey, Barbara.
Yes, thank you so much for taking our questions. I know from everything that I've learned about you that you're a very dedicated mom, And as a grandmother of 7 little ones, I'm wondering, do you have any advice or words of wisdom for our young mothers who are working so hard to raise our children in such a challenging society?
Congratulations, 7. It's a lot, right? It's a busy time. I would say that lead with love and take a child as individual. We are all different, and also make sure that you, as a mother, you are healed, so you don't put the issues and trauma and everything to your child. Be cautious and be very, very loving.
That's great advice.
Good advice, yeah.
All right, Brendan. Well, Brendan, you last question here. What's on your mind?
Good to be with you.
Thank you, you too.
What would you do, or what would you like to see improved in our country if your husband wins the election next week?
Well, I would like to see country to be safe and prosperous, better economy, and the peace in the world. That's very important.
So Mrs. Trump, you already have this book that's out, number one, but you're releasing the collectibles item
Yes.
of your book. Tell us about
It's
it.
a collector's edition it's out in December. It's available on melaniatrump.com, and it's a book that has many more photos, many more pictures, and also through my eyes, the pictures that I took from the White House, from my travels, on my iPhone.
Awesome. And in fact,
Let's take a
we've
look
got
at
a couple of them.
Oh, you do? Oh,
we
great.
do.
This one is,
Fantastic.
we think it's a view from your helicopter
Yes.
as you and the president flew to Italy for a meeting while he was president. What are your recollections of this?
Oh, it was incredible. I flew on a military helicopter, and you talk with the helicopter pilots. You put
Through
the
the headset, yeah.
headset, and you talk to them. And I took that photo of Taormina. I was flying there. We were there for G7 summit. It was just incredible sight.
And then you took another one. We have another one from, I think this is from,
Oh, look at
tell
that.
us where this is the White House, the Rose Garden?
This is the Rose Garden, wintertime and Oval Office. You could see the window, and if I would have binoculars, I could see my husband. But it's from my private office room. And this one,
This last one is Halloween decoration.
Halloween decoration from yellow room in the White House, in the residence, looking out on the South Portico.
Spider webs.
Yes.
And one final picture, and that is London.
That is London. We were there for a state visit in UK, and we were passing the mall. You could see it's all cleared out, and we were in the presidential limo, the Beast. So I took that photo very quickly.
From the Beast.
That's right. It turns out first ladies are just like us. You take pictures with your iPhone.
I do. I like to take pictures and for my memories.
So, Mrs. Trump, you have a big surprise for the audience today because
Yes.
they're all going to take home a book, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Everybody gets the book. Yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Very nice.
Are you surprised how successful it's been? Number one?
Number one, it's fantastic. I think people really love to hear from me, I guess.
Right. Yep.
So, and, looking forward to that people reading it
We'll
and
see.
hear my story.
We'll see if it's Back to
I
the
know,
Future one week from
We
today.
can't shop in your closet. We can't look like you, but we can read your book and learn all about the story. What's your website if people want to buy these books?
melaniatrump.com.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
easy.
So
Thank
so
you.
nice
Mrs.
you to
Trump,
come
thank
in.
you so much
Appreciate
for coming on
Thank
the show.
you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kiker.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
He's loose. He's across the 40 to the 50. It's a foot race to the end zone.
He's got a little bit of running room. Hops over a defender, picks up the first down.
There he goes up the middle. He'll be cut down at the 20.
Into the end zone for a Fannin Rebel score.
Catches it in stride. He'll go to the end zone.
Breaks the tackle. Touchdown.
See us anytime you can.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. We don't take our trips on LSD. We don't burn our draft cards down on Main Street. We like living right and being free. We don't make a party out of loving. We like holding hands and pitching woos. We don't let our hair grow long and shaggy like the hippies out in San Francisco do. And I'm proud to be an Okie from Muskogee, a place where even squares can have a ball. We still wave Old Glory down at the courthouse, and white lightning's still the biggest thrill of all. Leather boots are still in style from manly footwear. Beads and Roman sandals won't be seen. Football's still the roughest thing on campus, and the kids there there's still respect to college dean. And I'm proud to be an Okie from Muskogee, a place where even squares can have a ball. We still wave Old Glory down at the courthouse, and white lightning's still the biggest thrill of all. We still wave Old Glory down at the courthouse in Muskogee, Oklahoma, USA.
Okay, Muskogee, USA is a little bit like Gilmer County, like Jasper, like Ball Ground. It's like small towns. But the statistics of voting today are telling us that suburban America and many, many white women are going to be the ones that will pull the vote that might change the way we look at our world. Many of them are voting on one issue, and that is the abortion issue. And everybody knows how I feel about abortion. I believe that a woman has a right to take care of her own health, but I also believe that the states should be responsible, and anything that's done about abortion should be on state ballots. That's exactly what President Trump had said. And he said when Roe versus Wade was overturned that it should be put back to each individual state. Now, y'all know that the people in California do not think the way we think, and bless their hearts, lots of them are coming to Georgia, to Tennessee. They're even coming to Texas because they want to get away from that lifestyle. In Matthew, there's a verse that says that we can be a light unto a dark, dark world. We have seen our world go dark, and I think it's time for our world to go light again. So if you're thinking about voting and you're not sure, how do the people stand? What do you support? Well, I support a great economy. I support closed borders. I support the abortion issue going back to the states. It has nothing to do with the federal government. We need to vote on it in our states. I also support taking care of the elderly. Every single day, I was working on paperwork yesterday for an elderly lady I'm helping that is in a mess. She's one of many that I've helped. And I think about, we need to take care of our elderly. And one of the things that President Trump has done is he's going to allow a tax credit. If you have to take time off from work and you have to take care of your mom, your dad, a special needs sibling, they're going to allow you to get a tax credit for it. That should have been done a long time ago, because somebody has to be responsible for these adults who, as they age, they don't want to ask for help, but often they need help. And it's time that we stepped up to the plate and we did it. I'm going to share a little bit of something that President Trump did yesterday, and it shares, as a mom who lost a child, I know what it's like to stand over a child's casket. These mothers lost their children because of violence and gang and rape and murder of their daughters. So just sit back, and this should help you make up your mind how we should vote.
The election itself is going very well. We're leading, I believe, in all 7 swing states. So I appreciate everybody's work, and the spirit is unbelievable. I don't think there's ever been anything like it in our country's history, frankly, because we want to see our country get better. And that's why we're here, just to do a statement. And it's an honor to have some of our friends here. In less than 4 years, Kamala Harris has obliterated our borders, obliterated. We've never had a situation like this. Decimated the middle class, and runaway inflation has caused problems, the likes of which we never thought possible. Bloodshed, squalor to our cities is common, and they've unleashed a war and chaos all over the world. You take a look, everything's blowing up or getting ready to blow up. No respect for our country anymore, no respect for our leadership. No person has caused so much destruction and death at home and abroad should ever be allowed to be the President of the United States. You can't have that. Can't have that. So I'm running on a plan to save America. We're going to save America. We have no choice. It's the greatest there is. We love it, and we're going to save it. We have no choice. And it's going to be saving it from the incredible destruction that's been caused by crooked Joe Biden and Kamala. And she's responsible because he wasn't responsible, and she never said that. He didn't know too much about what was happening. Maybe that was exposed during the debate. And yet still the way they took that away from him was not right. It wasn't right. Shouldn't have happened that way. They walked in, they said, we're taking it away. They stole the presidency of the United States. You can call it a coup, you can call it whatever, but they stole it. They went in like taking candy from a baby. And can't have that. And she's running on a campaign of demoralization and really a campaign of destruction. But really, perhaps more than anything else, it's a campaign of hate. It's a campaign of absolute hate. And, you know, I said yesterday that she's a vessel, and she is a vessel. It's a very big, powerful party with smart people. I have to be smart. But it's vicious, they're vicious, and they're perhaps even trying to destroy our country. Because who would want open borders where millions of people can flow in from prisons and from gangs, the worst gang members anywhere in the world? Who would want this for our country? Who would want all of these transgender operations all over the place, like at will? Even if you're in detention, I want a transgender. These are things she stood for. Who wants to defund the police? She's wanted her whole career to defund the police. She only changed recently. She changed on 15 different items. Fracking. She was against fracking at the highest level. Wouldn't even think about it. Now all of a sudden, oh, I'd like fracking very much. But they change after the election in about 2 minutes, and I think Pennsylvania understands that. After 2 assassination attempts in just over 3 months, her lies and her slanders are very shameful and really inexcusable. And I can say that if I were president and somebody was being threatened, openly threatened like they've threatened me, I would say, if you do that, even if this was an opponent who I disliked, if you do that, we will obliterate your entire country, and it would all stop. But they wouldn't make that statement. They won't make that statement.
We're going to share a little bit more of what was talked about at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. And as a mom, truly, who lost a child, I read your comments on Facebook, and I see so many moms who've lost their children, and they don't know how to go on, and they don't know what to do. And I think that the one thing we can do in honor of all our children is to vote to protect our children. And to protect our children is to close the border. Close the border, secure the border. That is something that we must do. I don't care who's elected. We must do this. It should never have been opened. There was a time that we were safe. Sure. One of the things that I was watching this morning was a gentleman in Pennsylvania, and he was talking about the economy, and boy, did it take me back. During the reign of terror, when Obama and Biden were in their first term, they started destroying the housing market because there were so many things done that really did destroy it. And then their second term took it all down. So many people lost their homes, so many people lost their jobs, so many people lost everything. The suicide rate then was very, very high. The rate of depression became higher. If you're sitting at home and you're struggling about how to buy groceries, I've always been pretty politically active, but I got really active when I stood in my local Ingles grocery store helping a lady try to find a few items on a list, and she couldn't afford the few items on the list. An elderly lady who didn't have any help and didn't have extra money was trying to buy just a few items. That's what got me on this mission, to try to encourage each of you to get out and to vote. The other thing that really encouraged me is seeing the lives that are taken from us because of the gangs and the violence that the Harris-Biden team has allowed to happen. And we're going to share just a little bit of that with y'all now.
Please take a look.
Sunday night, I asked her to not stay up super late because of her coming to work with me in the morning first to do her summer school. She said, okay. I told her good night and I love you. I went to bed, not realizing that that was going to be the last time I saw her.
We're best friends. Yeah. We're going to shake it again.
I woke up to notice she wasn't in her bed. I'm in my heart trying not to lose my mind because I don't know where she is. I finally remembered her phone had a location on, and her phone was pinging just 2 minutes down the road, right behind the skate park. I start driving to the direction the phone was being pinged at, and I see a couple cop cars with lights on. I see yellow tape, and immediately my heart drops and sinks to the bottom of my stomach. My daughter's hands and ankles were both bound. She was strangled to death, left with no pants. And I know in my heart, she fought incredibly hard. She was not going down without a fight.
We begin with two men we're learning are charged with capital murder tonight, accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these men strangled her before dumping her into that creek. Both men were in the country illegally.
Apprehended, then released by Border Patrol less than 3 weeks before Jocelyn's death. The men accused of killing Jocelyn Nungare are affiliated with the gang known for brutal violence.
Kamala Harris was in charge of immigration in our borders. If we had better border policies and not open borders and not these catch and release policies, I truly believe this all could have been prevented. Under her being vice president of this country, my daughter's life was ripped away from her.
Ma'am, you're on Fox and Friends right now. What's your name?
Christina.
Christina. Okay, so I'm curious, Christina, did you hear the current president of the United States call the Trump supporters garbage yesterday?
I did, yes.
What is your thought process on this?
It feels very demeaning, you know. I've been a Republican my whole life, and it's a privilege to be a Republican and a conservative, and I stand for conservative values, and I think I can process thoughts and have my own thought pattern, and to be called garbage for those thoughts is not necessarily an uplifting comment.
Were you surprised?
No, not at all. No, not coming from him or his party.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You bet.
So, as I told y'all from the very beginning, people were telling me this happened, but they were not surprised. Let's talk with some other folks. Sir, what's your name?
Adam.
You guys got a tight race here. I'm sure you heard the current president actually, talk about Trump supporters being garbage. How's that going to impact you?
I mean, it just shows the Democrats and Harris's desperation. I mean, I think they're desperate. They see the numbers, they see the people, all the enthusiasm behind, Donald Trump and the Republicans. So, it's like Hillary Clinton calling us deplorables.
Yeah, this is just part two, right?
Yeah.
Sir, how you doing? Thank you for your service. It is tight here in Pennsylvania. 81,000 votes separated 2020. Donald Trump won it in 2016. In 2020, Joe Biden won it by 81,000 votes. What do you think is going to be the issue that brings the majority of the folks to the polls?
Economy.
Yeah. Why the economy?
Just everybody's struggling. I mean, food's for one thing. I mean, let's try to get prices down on things. Housing's out of control. So yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. Let's go talk with some other folks out here. Oh, you were fired up the moment I saw you this morning. What's your name?
Tamra.
Tamra, I'm curious, with PA being so close, who do you think is going to win?
I really think that Trump will win just because the economy is so bad for people, and the typical state counties like Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, those people are working people and they are really feeling the crunch. So I think that makes a difference.
So y'all voted for Donald Trump in 2016. Yes. 2020, y'all went back to Joe, but it was only by 81,000. Why is this time different?
I think we've had 4 years of failure, and people are tired of it. They've really felt that failure at the grocery store in their own families.
The education system is bad. The country is dangerous. So these are matters that matter to me as a mom, and I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. It is personal.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, guys. So as you can see, they're talking about the issues. Those mom and
well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done.
Disaster, you must get out and vote. You just have to get out and vote. We're going to beat them so badly. So we're thrilled to be joined by some incredible people. I already mentioned Senator Marco Rubio. Marco, will you come up here, please? Come on. Good man, this one. Thank you, Marco. Thank you. You want to say something? Go ahead.
All right. Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage. Are garbage. He's talking about the Border Patrol. He's talking about nurses. He's talking about teachers. He's talking about everyday Americans who love their country and want to dream big again and support you, Mr. President. And I hope their campaign is about to apologize for what Joe Biden just said. We are not garbage. We are patriots who love America. And thank you for running, Mr. President.
Wow. That's terrible. That's what it says. That's what it says. So you have, remember Hillary, she said deplorable, and then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable, that didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know, you have to please forgive him. Please forgive him, for he not knoweth what he said.
Okay, the choice is ours. Are we going to be tricked or are we going to be treated? Well, I went for the treat, and I have already voted, and of course I voted Republican ticket all the way. I want to talk a little bit about that, because when we look at Elon Musk, we look at RFK, we look at Tulsi Gabbard, we look at Mario Rubio, we look at Ron DeSantis, we look at all the people that are going to be part of the Trump team. There's a reason that he has assembled these amazing people. The last time he went in office, we had 4 years of great economy. We had 4 years of great prices. Today, as I was coming up 575 or 515, I noticed at the racetrack gas was $2.97, but at Ingalls it was $2.71, and at Murphy it was $2.69.9. So for some weird reason, Ingalls and Murphy, and evidently they buy it from a different market than they buy it from down at Racetrack, because Racetrack's just at the Cherokee County line. And I thought, well, isn't that weird? That's 30 cents difference. That's a lot of money difference when you're buying 60 gallons of gas. And so we need to look at everything, and we need to vote, because you and I will make the difference in this election. It is up to us. It is up to us to save our country. And I'm going to encourage you today, get off the couch, go vote early, please. Go and cast your vote for the, as Preacher Bridgman says, the righteous. And please do that. Get out and vote. Make your voice be heard, because we can be tricked or we can be treated. And for me, I'm all up for the treat. So it's time for a treat for America. It's time to bring our country back together again. It is time to bring the jobs back. I would love to see American manufacturing. Do you know what it was like when Lee had the Lee plant in Jasper? Over 400 people were employed. When we had the Levi plant up in Blue Ridge, it was amazing. We need to talk about American industry, and that's exactly what President Trump and his team want to do. Now, to my vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance, talk about hitting a home run. Trump could never have done any better. This young man graduated Yale at the top of his class. He is a very successful businessman, and he is a good man and a good family man. So we hope that today, I hope I've encouraged you. I hope I have made you think about what you can do to help save our country. Now we're going to go to the song that we all tear up and we all love by Lee Greenwood.
All the things were gone. I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again. Just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today. But the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the